What's up, my Mind Your Money business people? Today is another day, a blessed day. Hope you guys are doing well no matter when you're looking at this video, because I hope that today is a good day for you. I was trying to think of something else to say, but I couldn't. So as you can see by the title, it's called the top 10 most common financial mistakes. I have my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. And again, not not even again, because I haven't said anything. On this channel, I plan to only promote, opinions and things that I find interesting when it comes to money, when it comes to the stock market, debt, so on and so forth. Now, I am not a professional financial planner. I am not a professional financial investor. All I'm giving here is my very own opinion. Now, I suggest that if you do need, some type of help or assistance, or you don't believe everything that I am saying, please do your own research and please seek professionals that can help you. But on this channel, I am only and simply given my own opinion and things that I research and find to be true. You may not agree with everything, but hey, whatever. Okay, so my notes here says, many people struggle with money, which is true. Though a difficult economy and social cultural factors may be to blame, you can still do your part to try to make smart choices with your money. So let's take a look at the top 10 common financial mistakes that people make. Number 1, unnecessary spending. I too used to do that before I created a plan, which I call a budget. I budget for everything, and I am serious when I say I budget for everything. I listened to the money master himself, Dave Ramsey, starting in 2018, and in April of 2021, I became debt free. I have no student loan debts, I have no personal loan debts, I have no car debts, I have no mortgage, my mortgage is paid off. I had 3 properties, I was building a 4th, I sold 2. As you can see, I'm not good at math. I now have 2. They're both paid off. I have no debt, no credit card debt, none whatsoever. Once I developed a plan, because without a plan, you're not going to be able to do much. You have to stick to the plan. But first, in order to stick to a plan, you have to create one, right? So again, unnecessary spending. It may not seem like a big deal when you pick up that coffee or have dinner out or order a pay-per-view movie. That may add up to $25 a week. But if you're spending $25 a week, that is $1,300 a year. And that $1,300 could have gone to your debt, could have gone towards student loan debts, could have gone towards credit cards, could have gone towards that personal loan. So the misuse and unnecessary spending of money is not a good thing. That said, the key word is unnecessary. Maybe you really look forward or need those coffees, that dinner out, to the movies to maintain, like this says, your mental awareness. A healthy financial life can include all of that. This type of spending just needs to be part of your budget. If you want coffee, if you want to go out to dinner, if you want to go to the movies, if you want to go on these trips, budget for it. I budget for everything. I kid you not. I budget for everything. I have my savings account, and then I also have my emergency fund. And your emergency fund can consist of 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. Me, on the other hand, I want more than 6 months. I want more than 3. Yeah, well, 6 is more than 3. So how much do I have? I have like 2 years. That's just me. Call me weird. Okay. So then there was I'm not going to even go into that. Number 2 is never ending payments. Some of us just never pay off loans, credit cards. So ask yourself if you really need items that keep your payments every month, or to keep you paying every month. Becoming debt free, I tell myself if I cannot pay for something cash, I don't need it. I don't need it. If I just want something, and because I want it, not because it's a need, and in order to purchase it, I need to charge a credit card in order to have it, I'm not buying it. So that's what happens with a lot of people. They're buying a lot of items that they're paying on every month, and they're forever having these never-ending payments, year after year. Consider things like streaming services. Like I know some people that have Apple. Is there Apple Plus? There's Disney Plus. There's Hulu. There's Netflix. There's Peacock. There's Amazon Prime, and they have cable. That they have the Fire Stick. It's like just too much. Like, do you really need all of that stuff that you would never watch? So are these needs or are these wants? I remember in high school in my economics class, I learned the need, between the need and a want. If I need something, of course, like I need shelter, I need clothes, but do I want a new pair of shoes or do I need a new pair of shoes? Do I want more clothes or do I need more clothes? Do I want a new car or do I need a new car? You need to figure out the difference. A need or want. A cheaper gym may get the job done, allowing you to save the difference. Like you don't have to pay that $100 a month to go to the well-known gym when you may be able to get away with paying $30 a month somewhere else. So when money is tight, creating a leaner lifestyle can go a long way to cushioning yourself from financial hardships. Just think about when COVID happened and everything shut down, and even people with high-paying jobs were finding themselves in financial hardships because despite making a lot of money, they weren't saving a lot, because everyone's out living their best life. Number 3, living large on credit cards. Using credit cards to buy non-essentials is kind of common. Like I remember seeing a guy just last week use his credit card to buy a bag of potato chips. And it wasn't the family size potato chip bag. It was like $1.79 bag of potato chips. Yeah. But even if some people are willing or able to pay double-digit interest rates on luxury clothing and a host of other expensive items, it's not always wise to do so, unless you can pay off the card before the end of the month. Credit card interest rates make the price of the charged items a great deal more expensive. In some cases, using credit can mean you spend more than you earn. A lot of us, because we have the credit cards, we just use it. You use it to buy things you really cannot afford. You just charge it to the credit card. And if some of you will notice, when you make that bare minimum credit card payment, it seems like your credit, well, not the credit, but the balance on your credit card either remains the same or increases. It's because you haven't realized that 20-something% interest is being added to your credit card every month, that you continue to maintain that balance. It's not good. Credit cards, like anything else, like the internet, it can be a great tool if used correctly, but most people abuse it. That's the problem. Number 4, buying a new vehicle. Now, I pride myself on having the same vehicle for the last... No, I just lied. Well, the vehicle that I'm currently driving, I've had for 10 years, and this is the longest I've ever had any car. But I did buy a car in 2017, but I paid cash for it. And I bought my daughter a car in 2017, but I paid it off early. Right? But either way, number 4 is buying a new vehicle. Millions of new vehicles are sold each year, although few buyers can afford to pay for them in cash. But financing can get tricky. After all, being able to afford the payment is not the same as being able to afford the vehicle. Furthermore, by borrowing money to buy a vehicle, you pay interest on a depreciating asset. That's why on this page, I also plan to talk about, not page, on this channel, I plan to also talk about stocks. You know, things that appreciate. We need to start investing our money on appreciating assets, not depreciating assets, like a vehicle or clothing. Why pay thousands and hundreds of dollars on clothing and cars that's going down in value? You know, it makes no sense. But when you pay interest on depreciating assets, it amplifies the difference between the value of the vehicle and the price you paid for it. Say you bought that car for $56,000 right now. When you drive it off the lot, it's worth, $52,000, and next year is worth $10,000 less than that. But you're still maintaining and making the same interest payment. Well, not interest payment, but car payment. Now, with the interest rates being high, and they've been going high for quite a while now, however, September 18th, the Feds are meeting to talk about interest rates, and hopefully they will go down. Either way, here nor there, interest rates being as high as they are, I hear of people having $800 and $1,000 car payments. I keep the car that I have. If it's running, there's nothing wrong with it, I'm keeping it. Then worse yet, and I used to be one of these people, many people trade in their vehicles every few years and lose money on every trade. Think of you that have traded in your cars, and after when you go to trade it in, they tell you that, hey, it's not worth this amount, it's worth, $5,000 less. So that's $2,000 to $5,000 or whatever amount that has to be added on to your new car loan. And that's crazy. So maybe you have no choice but to take out a loan, to buy a vehicle. But do you really need a large SUV? Such vehicles are expensive. Oh, and the fuel. Like I have an SUV right now. It would be considered a mid-size SUV. $75 just to fill that bad boy up. And that's a lot of money, especially when I go out of town and I have like a little sedan, and when I go to fill it up, it's like $24 or $30. So, but that's why you should never buy anything you cannot really afford, right? Now, number 5, spending too much money on your home. When it comes to buying a home, bigger is not necessarily better. Unless you have a large family, choosing a 6,000 square foot home will only mean more expensive taxes, maintenance, and utilities. I would say when I first bought my home, I bought my first home at 26. I had no idea as to what I was doing. I knew nothing about maintaining a home, but I learned. Sometimes we have to learn the hard way. But, it is what it is. And what this article is saying and what I am saying is bigger is not always better. Bigger, we buy bigger because we're thinking that it appears as though, well, I'm not going to say what other people think. I would say what I thought. Having a big home means you have a lot. You have a lot of money. You have a good job. So it's like you're showing off. At least I felt like I was showing off. Because the last place that I bought was 3 stories, but it was a 3-story townhome, and it was like 2,400 square feet, 4 bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, which was huge. That's why after living in it for only 9 months, I moved. It was too much space. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I was thinking about Airbnb it. I was thinking about renting out a room. So I just moved. And now I've been renting it out for the past 4 years. I'm sorry. Okay, before you buy a home, consider the carrying and operating costs beyond your monthly mortgage payment. Now, when you go to the bank and they come up with your mortgage payment and then they look at your debt to income ratio, they may say, oh, you can afford this home. And you're like, yeah. But what you don't realize, like I didn't until after you move in, is the carrying cost, the insurance, the tax, well, the taxes are factored in, but the insurance, the utilities, the, again, just the maintaining of the home. It drives your monthly expenses up. So do you want to put such a significant long-term dent in your monthly budget? So you have to consider these things. Now, if you're an experienced home buyer or investor in real estate, you understand all of this, but a lot of people do not. Sometimes it's okay to rent, to be honest with you, because if something goes wrong with that property, you call your landlord. If the hot water heater goes out, which costs thousands of dollars, call your landlord. If something breaks, the stove, the refrigerator, the bathroom, there's leaks, you call the landlord. So as you consider your housing arrangement, think through what's important to you. For example, how passionate are you about having a large yard? I love mowing lawn. Okay, if it's at the top of your list, that's fine. Just be mindful that upkeep and maintenance may cost you in the form of hiring services, buying machinery, complying with HOA. Yeah, the HOA can be a beast. HOA requirements, and paying for various home repairs that arrive. I can tell you that is something people do not plan for with a home or a car. Like people may buy these expensive cars, but when it's time to get maintenance done on them, they don't like the cost. So they charge it to their credit card, or the car just remains on the side of the road. Number 6, misusing home equity. Refinancing and taking cash out of your home means giving away ownership to someone else. Yeah. In some cases, refinancing might make sense if you can lower your rate. I remember someone I know lowered their interest rates when rates were low back in 2020, 2021, and they refinanced their home at 2.2%, which lowered their payments by a few $100s. That was good. So refinancing can lower your rate and your payment. Or if you can refinance and pay off higher interest debt. So if you can refinance and you start saving a couple $100s a month, now you can take the few $100s that you're now saving and rotate that onto other debt that you may have, credit card, personal loan, car loans, so on and so forth. However, the other alternative is to open a home equity line of credit, HELOC, which Dave Ramsey hates with a passion. I've never taken one. Either way, this allows you to effectively use the equity in your home like a credit card. But this is something I don't do. I, believe now that everyone should reduce their debt by as much as possible. Reduce your debt. And when you reduce your debt, you free up your money. You gain freedom for your money. And now you're able to tell your money where to go and what to do, because you're the parent and your money is the child. Okay, number 7, not saving. Just like in the last video, or one of the videos that I posted about 1 in 5 Americans have enough money for retirement. Number 7 is not saving. The U.S. household personal savings was just 3.6% in April of 2024. Many households live paycheck to paycheck, and there's no sign of improvement. Why? I remember in 2014, I heard my supervisor say, I live below my means. And in 2014, which was 10 years ago, I had never heard anyone say that before. because he was making a lot of money. He was retired from the military. He was making a lot of money as a federal employee. And he drove a car that I considered a crappy car. But he said it gets him from point A to point B, and he lives below his means. And I now understand what he meant by that. He was saving a lot of money. He budgeted, and he was able to save more and invest more. So yeah. So unfortunately, this puts people in a precarious position, one in which every dollar matters, and even one missed paycheck would be disastrous. I guarantee there are a lot of you that are one paycheck away from losing your car, losing your house, so on and so forth. And this is not the position you want to find yourself in when economic recessions hit. Many financial planners would tell you, so seek a financial planner, I'm not one, seek one, will tell you to keep 3 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund. See, I didn't even read this part. Well, I'm just reading it, but I did state that, Dave Ramsey suggests you have 3 to 6 months, but I have like 2 years, right? I say 2 years because I have no debt. Yeah. So keep 3 months worth of expenses in an emergency fund account where you can access it quickly, in a high interest savings account or just in your savings account. It's okay. Loss of employment or changes in the economy could drain your savings and place you in a cycle of debt, paying for debt. A 3-month buffer could be the difference between keeping or losing your house. Even if you were fired or laid off from your job, you have an emergency fund that can keep you afloat until you find another job. And these expenses, of course, is your mortgage or rent, your utilities, your car payment, whatever amount of money that you spend consistently on a monthly basis, food, so on and so forth. Factor that in, total it up, save 3 to 6 months worth of that money for your emergency fund. Number 8, not investing in retirement. Ooh, that's why I'm talking about stocks. That's why I created this channel, because a lot of people do not invest. I even spoke to someone and asked them, do their company offer a 401k plan? And they had no idea. I said, maybe you should go to HR and ask them. Okay, if you do not get your money working for you in the markets or through other income producing investments like real estate, you may never be able to stop working. Making monthly contributions to designated retirement accounts is essential for a comfortable retirement. How much money do you need for retirement? Do you know? How much money are you currently making? And what type of lifestyle has your current income created for you? So now you need to figure out, by contacting a financial advisor or planner, how much money do you need to have invested by the time you retire to maintain your current lifestyle or even something better. There's a number that you need. They're saying now that every one American needs at least $2 million invested by the time they retire. And because of inflation, I believe that number is going to increase because the prices of goods and services are not going down. Over time, they're going to continue to go up. I remember my 80-year-old uncle saying how a Snickers bar used to cost 5 cents when he was a kid. How much does a Snicker cost now? Like $1 or $2. So think about it. Okay, take advantage of tax-deferred retirement accounts and or your employer-sponsored plan. Understand the time of your investments will have to grow and how much risk you can tolerate. When you're younger, you can invest more aggressively and take more risk because the stock market, as we've been going through just recently, it fluctuates. It can be very volatile. One day you're making money, the next day you're losing money. Next week you're losing money. The next month you're still losing money. And then 3 months later, after losing money, then you start to gain money. It fluctuates like that. So yeah, number 9. I was going to say more about that, but I'm not, because I'm already at 24 minutes and I don't want to keep talking to where I lose you. Either way, number 9, paying off debt with retirement accounts. You may be thinking that if your debt is costing 24% and your retirement account is making 7%, swapping the retirement for the debt means you will be pocketing the difference, but it's not the same. In addition to losing the power of compounding, it's very hard to pay back those retirement funds because the more money that you invest over years, the interest on that money that's being invested is compounding, it's increasing. And if it's only increasing at a 7% rate and you're using that money to pay off a 24% debt, you're losing money. Okay, like I said, it says it's very hard to pay back those retirement funds. And you could be hit with a 10% early withdrawal fee if you're younger than age 59 and a half. And I have heard of people taking money out of their retirement account to put money down on a home, or like the article says, or like what I'm reading, to pay off debt. So you're now also paying a 10% fee for taking out that $40,000, $100,000. So think about it. So with the right mindset, getting a loan from your 401k might be a viable option, but even the most disciplined planners have a tough time placing money aside to rebuild these accounts. Because can you replace the money that was taken out? And then also, how long will it take you to replace that money? And then what you need to think about is the compounding interest that you missed out by taking out such a large sum of money at one time and having to pay a fee for taking it out for whatever reason. Okay, when the debt gets paid off, the urgency to pay it back usually goes away. It will be very tempting to continue spending at the same pace, which means you could go back into debt again. If you are going to pay off debt with savings, you have to live like you still have a debt to pay to your retirement fund. Dave Ramsey always says, or he often says, to live like no one else, you have to live like no one else. In order to have what most people don't have, you have to do what they are not willing to do, which is pay off debt, which is to live on less than you make, to, create a budget and a plan for your life, to be in control of your money instead of your money controlling you, to tell your money where to go each month instead of questioning where did it go. All right, last one, so I can end this video, hopefully at 30 minutes. Not having a plan. Your financial future depends on what's going on right now. Maybe you spend a lot of time watching streaming services or strolling through your social media feeds, but haven't carved out any time to go through your finance. And that is the reason why I named this channel Mind Your Money Business. Mind your money business. Think, people, what do you need? There's no law or no special meditation that's going to get you what you need in and out of life. You have to do it. That's why you have to mind your money business. You have to take control of your life. We can't keep living, with excuses on why we cannot have and why we do not have what we need. So you have to carve out the time to focus on yourself. Stop paying so much attention to the wrong things that are not, enhancing you or making you a better person. That's too bad, that people aren't paying enough attention to their finances, because you need to know where you are going. Make this priority now. And that is all. There is more, but I am not going to talk more. But those are the 10 things. Again, number 1, unnecessary spending. Number 2, never-ending payments. Number 3, living large on credit cards. Number 4, buying a new vehicle. Number 5, spending too much money on your home. Number 6, misusing home equity. Number 7, not savings. Number 8, not investing in retirement. Number 9, paying off debt with retirement savings. And number 10, not having a plan are the top 10 most common financial mistakes.